Hello everyone and welcome back to United Red Devil TV, and we are back with a new transfer news and rumours show. I decided that as the transfer window is sort of shut now until January, I'll probably just do one video a day until the transfer window reopens again. But without further ado, hopefully everyone's doing good today, and it's been a little bit of a rainy day here in the UK. So without further ado, we'll jump in. The transfer window has been closed for over 2 days now, and Manchester United are well equipped to compete at the top of the Premier League table, which is an absolute lie. Manuel Ugarte's deadline day arrival meant United brought in 5 first-team players into Erik Ten Hag's squad. Despite the positivity around the club after the transfer window, United found themselves back to square one after an embarrassing 3-0 home defeat to Liverpool. United were second best throughout the contest, leaving them with just 3 points from their first 3 games. We obviously know why that is. That's because they decided to put off Manuel Ugarte's transfer to deadline day, and then didn't get him signed up ready for the game in time for the game, which was absolutely stupid. It's now the first international break of the season, meaning United are not in action for over a week. And despite the transfer window closing, rumours are expected to continue, as always is the case with United. The future of players around Europe will continue to be being linked with Old Trafford, as well as the reaction from Sunday's defeat. So we'll start with some more of the news. Graham Souness has been talking his absolute nonsense again. Believes Mainu is not ready to be a starter for United, and that the England international has not yet become a good player. Oh, mate, you're an absolute monkey brain, bruv. Kobe Mainu is well and truly ready to be a first team player, but he's got to carry the deadwood that is Casmerio, that was at fault for 2 of the goals against Liverpool on Sunday. Souness is an absolute muppet, bruv. And this is what he had to say. I have to say this, I'm not being unkind. Yes, you are. You're being an absolute, you know what, begins with a P word. Mainly might be a player, but it's so Man United. This is not to be critical of Man United. It's never been any different. But when someone comes on the scene at Man United, in my days, they were the new George Best or the new Bobby Charlton, the new Dennis Law. It's FC Hollywood, they call Bayern Munich in Germany. FC Hollywood, that's Man United here. If anyone shows anything, they're put into superstardom category way before they've become a good player. Mainly right now should be a player that's fitting in and out of a good team, not coming in and being asked to stand up and play against the very best teams. He might be a good player one day, but he's certainly not the go-to Man United like they're making him out to be in midfield. My God, Souness, you're an absolute muppet, bruv. Someone needs to staple your mouth closed. Ex-United target Victor Osimhen has agreed to join a new club. Away from United for a brief moment, one of their former targets, Victor Osimhen, has reportedly agreed to join Galatasaray on loan. This is according to Fabrizio Romano. Osimhen has agreed to join Galatasaray on loan to avoid being left in the reserves at Napoli between now and January. He has also requested his release clause to be dropped to 63 million to invite bids for him in January, should top clubs want to sign him. Osimhen was embroiled in a deadline day saga with Chelsea, but Chelsea eventually chose to regret their approach. Another United ex-player talking probably a load of nonsense. On the latest episode of the Rio Ferdinand Presents podcast, the former United centre-back has defended... You have got to be kidding me. Casmerio was absolutely atrocious on Sunday. How can you sit there with any kind of brain and try and defend him? He's almost 32, or he's 32 years old, right? But when I look at him, I just feel that he's been asked to do a lot of things. Oh my God, Rio. You are an absolute plebeian. He's not asked to do... He tries to do that and he can't do it. Play 30-yard balls and dictate the pace of the game. These are things that Manchester United would never have recruited him for. He has never been asked to do this at Real Madrid. I just think it's a tad disrespectful in that there's more to it than just he has made a couple of... It's not been a couple of mistakes though, Rio. You're an absolute muppet, bruv. Because if you look at the 2 games before this season, he has probably, arguably... What planet is he on? He was horrible all of last season, bruv. Oh my god. Oh my day. Oh my days. I literally do not know what to say about him. Oh, he's giving me a headache. According to Football Insider, United will no longer be working on a deal to find Eriksen a new club. Despite being linked with moves to Ajax and Anderlecht, the injury to Mount means Eriksen remains pivotal as cover in central midfield. It is not expected that the Dane will be handed a new contract at the end of the season when his current deal expires. Former United defender Alex Telles has left Al Nassr by mutual agreement. Telles joined the Saudi Pro League club in 2023 after finding his position bumped at Old Trafford with Luke Shaw and Tyrell Malaysia, who both can't stay fit. We should have really kept Alex Telles, to be fair. After reuniting with Ronaldo in the Middle East, the 31-year-old made 38 appearances, including playing the full 90 minutes in Al Nassr's 2 opening league matches this season. According to Fabrizio Romano, United have been offered the opportunity several times this summer to sign Rabiot. He explained, "I can guarantee that Adrian Rabiot has been offered to Manchester United several times over the summer in July and August. The position of United has been very clear. They never thought about Eriksen out and Rabiot in, but he's one of the interesting names to follow." After being pulled early from the defeat to Liverpool, Casmerio reportedly left Old Trafford at half-time. However, Manchester Evening News Sport have been informed by United that this was not the case and he remained at the stadium until the match had finished. The Reds confirmed he left Old Trafford as normal and was in the dressing room at full time. He's going to start throwing his stuff out the pram. Personally, he needs to be benched for Ugarte and Rashford needs to be dropped. Garnacho on the left and Dallo on the right. Gary Neville's been talking again. One of those aiming criticism at Casemiro on Sunday was former United captain Gary Neville. He was baffled by the midfielder's performance and explained as much during his co-commentary duties. Casemiro, for a player of such experience, the amount of times he gives the ball away in bad areas, there's no pressure around him. It's a first-time ball that he tries. From that moment on, Liverpool have made mistakes in that area, but Mohamed Salah is a different class, and that cross is delicious. After receiving the brunt of online criticism for his first half display against Liverpool, Casemiro's wife Mariana took aim at those looking to drag her husband down, and she posted some stupid photo online of Casemiro's trophy cabinet. It's fair to say that Casemiro sits in an uncomfortable position at United following the defeat to Liverpool. He was hooked off at half-time after being at fault for at least one, if not two, of Liverpool's goals at Old Trafford. The decision to bring in Toby Collier on as his replacement spoke volumes for how badly Ten Hag felt his veteran midfielder had done. Despite his wife's fair point on social media, Casemiro's time feels to be heading towards the end at the top level, whether Rabiot comes in or not. After the window slammed shut on Friday evening, there could be a few puzzled people wondering how United could make any other new additions. Thanks to Rabiot being a free agent, he can sign for a new club at any point he wants and is not bound to the rules of the transfer window to decide his future. Signing free agents outside of the parameters of the transfer window is a common practice in the lower leagues, but is less often used by clubs of United stature due to the fact free agents are normally cast-offs from other teams. This Rabiot story is really not going away. It seems to be like growing pace. In Ten Hag's first summer at Old Trafford, Rabiot was one of the players on his radar to bolster the club's midfield. The United boss pivoted to the Frenchman after the ongoing saga with De Jong finally came to a head. Rabiot was then linked with United again in 2023, but on this occasion the midfielder chose to sign a one-year contract extension at Juventus. According to the Express, as relayed by TNT Sports, United could look to sign Adrien Rabiot this summer to bolster the midfield. The free agent left Juventus at the end of last season and despite links to Liverpool has not found a permanent home yet. Rabiot was one of the stars of the French national team which reached the semi-finals of the Euros this summer. United's next match will see them travel to Southampton later this month in the first fixture after the international break. That will be the start of a busy run in all competitions for the Reds, with their Europa League campaign also set to get underway. So the next 5 fixtures are Southampton away on the 14th of September, Crystal Palace on September 21st, Tottenham Hotspur at home on September 29th, Aston Villa away on October 6th and Brentford at home on October 19th. And they're doing betting odds again on the next manager, and it's only 3 games into the season, mate. These people need to seriously get a life. With Erik Ten Hag coming under pressure again after Sunday's 3-0 defeat to Liverpool, there will be plenty of question marks over the Dutchman's future at Old Trafford. The Reds finished 8th in the Premier League last season and now have lost 2 of the opening 3 games of the season. With that said, Bet365 have taken a look at the latest odds to replace Ten Hag if he leaves United. Not surprisingly, current assistant boss Ruud van Nistelrooy's favourite. So the current odds are Ruud van Nistelrooy at 7-2, Gareth Southgate and Mauricio Pochettino 4-1, Kieran McKenna, Thomas Tuchel, Graham Potter at 10-1, Thomas Frank at 20-1, Ruben Amorim 25-1, Xabi Alonso 25-1, Xavi Zinedine Zidane 33-1, Michael Carrick 50-1, Jose Mourinho 66-1, and Wayne Rooney at 100-1. Mate, if we get Wayne Rooney in charge, mate, we'll get relegated. Former Manchester United hero Nicky Butt has shut down suggestions that Marcus Rashford doesn't care, but he admits the forward might have to leave the club. Rashford suffered a confidence crisis last season and contributed just 8 goals in all competitions, which saw him fail to make the England squad for the European Championship. There were issues with Rashford's off-field behaviour that were addressed by Erik Ten Hag at the beginning of 2024, and his relationship with the United supporters was tested. After a full pre-season, Rashford is looking to get his career back up on track in the new campaign, but his performances are just like last season, so nothing's really overly changed. The decision to keep him on the pitch and substitute Alejandro Garnacho was booed by fans in the second half of United's defeat to Liverpool at Old Trafford on Sunday. I don't understand his fascination with keeping him on the pitch. He shouldn't be starting. 24 hours after an underwhelming Europa League schedule was confirmed for Manchester United, they had to face the prospect of another season threatening to unravel. This wasn't how it was supposed to be. While Manchester City looked forward to fixtures against Inter, Juventus and PSG, and Liverpool faced AC Milan and Real Madrid, United's most enticing European fixtures are a battle of Britain against Rangers and Jose Mourinho's reunion in Istanbul. A season of traps. I don't know what that word is, I can't pronounce it. Trapezing, that's what it is, around Europe's minor leagues was to be an inconvenience for Ineos on their path to restoring United's lustre. On Sunday night, Sir Jim Ratcliffe put his head in his hand in the director's box. They saw just how distant the gap remains to the very best in the Premier League has to offer. Ten Hag will have been concerned by how his team collapsed at Old Trafford, with supporters also booing his substitutions. The Dutchman will now be hoping that new signing Manuel Ugarte will be able to plug some of the gaps Liverpool exposed in midfield. United are next in action away at Southampton on September 14th. The national media have had their say on Sunday's defeat to Liverpool, but we don't listen to what the mainstream media's got to say. And during Arne Slot's post-match interview with Sky Sports, was like a 2-minute talk, and he literally told you verbatim how he managed to rip United apart, and it was a piece of you know what. The Grand Canyon-sized space between Manchester United's midfield still hasn't been addressed. With the exception of the FA Cup final against Manchester City, Erik Ten Hag's tactics didn't work last season, and the large gaps in the midfield was one of the biggest problems. It was too easy for the opposition to play through United, and there were dozens of examples when embarrassing images of space in the midfield during games were shown on social media and TV. Casmero's regression was a huge factor in the midfield problem against Liverpool. He was struggling to intercept balls, replay, and became slower, but the tactical system itself was failing more often than not, and Ten Hag was responsible for not recognising the issue and addressing it. Damn, bro. Manchester United manager Erik Ten Hag protested he is not Harry Potter, as he plans to integrate new signing Manuel Ugarte into the team after Casmero's shambolic performance in the 3-0 defeat to Liverpool. Casmerio lost possession for both of Liverpool's first half goals at Old Trafford, and the Brazilian was substituted at half time, having been dropped for the FA Cup final last season. 52.8 million arrival Ugarte was introduced to United fans before kick-off, following his transfer on deadline day. Arrival from Paris Saint-Germain, but Ten Hag warned the 23-year-old midfielder could take months to adapt into England. Yeek. Mohamed Salah admitted in his post-match chat with Slow Sports News that Liverpool could have scored 5 or 6 with how vulnerable United were at the back and in midfield. He was not exaggerating. After Salah had plundered his side's third goal of the afternoon, the Liverpool analysts put their hands on their heads in disbelief, clearly stunned at the errors that were being committed by United players. It was a telling moment that highlighted just how United's performances are currently being viewed by those on the outside. United were second best throughout the game. Liverpool are probably counting the days until the reverse meeting at Anfield. Casmero's wife has responded to criticism of her husband after Manchester United's 3-0 defeat at home to Liverpool. The Brazilian struggled badly against Arne Slot's team, having made mistakes which led to Liverpool's first 2 goals at Old Trafford on Sunday. It comes after intense criticism last season when the ageing midfielder enjoyed a torrid time at the club after impressing during his first season at Manchester United. Casmerio was strongly linked with a move to Saudi Arabia this summer, with United potentially given the opportunity to offload his huge wages, but the 32-year-old now looks to remain at the Reds for another season, with the Saudi summer transfer window closing on Monday. I just hope to God they come in for him and just be like, it is 40 million, we'll take him. Manchester United have clarified that Casmerio did not leave Old Trafford at half time during the defeat to Liverpool. Casmerio has markedly regressed over the last 12 months, but his performance against Liverpool on Sunday afternoon represents the lowest point of his time in Manchester. The midfielder was at fault for Liverpool's 2 goals in the first half, which were both scored by Luis Diaz, and Erik Ten Hag made the decision to substitute him at the interval. Casmerio was hooked for youngster Toby Collier, and there were claims on social media that he had left the stadium after his withdrawal, but the club have clarified he didn't make an early exit from Old Trafford and that he was in the dressing room with the squad at full time. They had played 2.5 minutes of the second half when Erik Ten Hag shook his head on the back row of the home dugout at Old Trafford. It was a clear sign that any Manchester United's hopes of rousing a comeback against Liverpool were closer to impossible than implausible. Ten Hag took decisive action at half-time, but this already felt like damage limitation. The Dutchman was arguably fortunate to have the chance to start a third season occupying that dugout. This result has seriously damaged his chances of finishing the season in that role. As a bad look as this was for Ten Hag, it was equally bad for Ineos. The glum faces in the director's box, from Ratcliffe to David Brailsford, Omar Barada, Dan Ashworth and Jason Wilcox, reflected a desperate day for United, and the thought of humbling a decision as it might be possible to make laying further up the road. Ten Hag survived an end-of-season review by Ineos to cling on to his position. 3 games into the new season, and this is already beginning to look like a mistake. It's not really a mistake, you just haven't got the players that know how Ten Hag plays. We've got some, but the rest can't do it, and Marcus Rashford just could not be bothered. And he keeps playing him over and over and over again. It's like that old saying, like, you keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different outcome, and it just never changes. It was not all that long ago that Manchester United could go out and handpick any player of their choice without any real form of competition. But if they are to win the battle for one of England's hottest prospects, they are going to have to dig out their boxing gloves and be prepared to fight. Just 4 games into the new championship campaign, Sunderland find themselves sitting pretty at the top of the table with a 100% record. Their 3-1 win over Portsmouth secured a 4th win in as many games, meaning they have won each of their opening 4 league matches for the first time in 99 years. To say new head coach Regis Lebris has made an immediate impact is an understatement. Though Jude Bellingham's younger brother, Jobe, carries the most famous name in the squad, it is fellow youngster Chris Rigg who is attracting almost all of the attention. Transfer specialist Fabrizio Romano has praised new Manchester United defender Nassau Mazraoui. For me, Nassau Mazraoui is an underrated transfer because he cost €15 million plus add-ons, but he is a really versatile player, Romano said via 10bet. He can play left back, right back. He is a very smart player. I think his transfer value is a lot higher than what Manchester United paid for him. This is a great piece of business from Manchester United. Roy Keane was unimpressed by what he saw from his former side and likened it to their struggles under Ten Hag last season. Same old problems, leopards and spots. United are far too open, he told Slow Sports News. The statistics don't tell the story. It was far from an even game. Liverpool were very good and very efficient. They looked stronger and they looked fitter. You can try and dress it up a little bit, but United were shocking. They were absolutely shocking. Every time Liverpool went forward, they looked like they were going to score. There were 2 mistakes from an experienced player, and then another mistake at the start of the second half. It wasn't good. There's a lot of PR the last few months about plans for the stadium and blah blah blah. But in a big game against Liverpool, United didn't turn up. For a game like this to be over after an hour, it's hard to accept. For once, I'll agree with Roy Keane. Manchester United were beaten 3-0 by Liverpool at Old Trafford as the pressure increased on Erik Ten Hag following a disappointing start to the season. United will now hope Ugarte gets some game time with Uruguay during the international break and is ready to go against Southampton. Starting Casmerio again is in a holding midfielder role is impossible to countenance right now. The $60 million deal to sign from Real Madrid was lauded during his impressive first season, but Sir Jim Ratcliffe was already questioning the value of that kind of outlay on a player in his 30s as he went through the books ahead of the investment. As he sat in the director's box on Sunday afternoon, the vindication would have hardly felt worth it. Erik Ten Hag bristled at the suggestion Manchester United's performance are reminiscent of their form last season. United finished 8th in the Premier League in 23-24, losing 14 games and came bottom of their Champions League group. They salvaged the campaign with a stunning 2-1 FA Cup final victory over Manchester City that effectively ensured Ten Hag remained in charge. However, United have won one of their 4 games this term. We've only played 3. Where's the 4th game? We've only played Fulham, Brighton and Liverpool. We've only played 3. Scored only 2 goals and conceded 5 to leave them with a goal difference of -3. At his post-match press conference after the 3-0 drubbing by Liverpool at Old Trafford, it was suggested to Ten Hag that United's mistakes were akin of their previous seasons under the Dutchman. And I think that is it for tonight. So thank you guys very much for watching. If I have missed anything, please don't hesitate to drop me a comment down below so I can chuck it in tomorrow's video. And hopefully everyone's doing good and enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to drop us a like on the video, share the video around, and if you're new, please don't forget to smash the subscribe button, tap the bell icon so you don't miss a video, and I'll catch you in the next video. Bye bye.